What plans do competing parties have to secure a cross on the ballot paper from the more than 3.3 million registered voters in the province? Stand by now for eNCA political editor, Vuyo Mvoko.
From the Nangoza Jebe Community Hall in Nelson Mandela Bay, welcome to eNCA's third election debate. My name is Vuyo Mvoko and I'll be your host for this conversation.
And I'm Alden St. Pierre, coming live to you here where we have representatives of different political parties as well as those who represent the 3.3 million people who are registered to vote in these elections. 26 political parties are vying for their vote.
Well, let me introduce you now to the people. The various political parties we invited have chosen. The governing party in the Eastern Cape, the ANC, is represented by Thabo Matuane. The Democratic Alliance's premier candidate is Ngaba Banga. The Economic Freedom Fighters. From the Economic Freedom Fighters, we have Yoliswa Yako. Mawandla Gogo is representing the United Democratic Movement. And from the Congress of the People, we have Siyasanga Sijadu. Well, to kick off today's debate, I'm going to give each of our panelists a maximum of 2 minutes to sell their party. Siyasanga.
Thank you very much, Vuyo, and a good morning to everyone. Firstly, the Congress of the People says to the people of South Africa, the problems we face today stem from one thing: deviating from the constitutional rule and rule of law. We are regressing currently, Vuyo, as a country because people who are in positions of power want to segregate us on the basis of race, gender, and all other things that divide people. Now, the Congress of the People says to the people of South Africa, do not be distracted by demagogues. Do not be distracted by populists. Do not be distracted by the land issue. Do not be distracted by them saying that they're going to amend Section 25 of the Constitution, because we know they are not. They just want to pacify the EFF. What will happen in a government of the Congress of the People is that we'll be united as a country, black, white, colored, Indian, and other races that are within this country. We are one country that has one future for everyone. And we need to know that. In the past, Vuyo, we've always been divided on the basis of things that are trivial, things that we cannot change. But going forward, such things will not matter. And we need to have strategies in place to ensure that we move forward as a country. Now, here's what the Congress of the People says. The Congress of the People says to the people of South Africa, we need a fresh start. We need a government that is accountable. We need health care for our people. Health care that is not what we're currently receiving. It is the saddest thing to go to a clinic and not find medical care when you need it. It is the saddest thing to go to a police station and not be able to report a crime because the police are just as corrupt as the criminals themselves.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, I'm listening to all of you talking about what your parties are offering. But of course, there is a history and a context within which this debate and the election that we'll all be participating in on the 8th of May will be taking place. There's also the optics, as some people prefer to call them. And I'm going to start with you, Siyasanga. When COPE burst onto the scene, you were the it guys, especially here in the Eastern Cape. People had a lot of hope that there could be an alternative to the ANC. But as you know, over the past 5 years, people seem to have lost a great deal of confidence in your party. Now, when you started to think about what you will be saying to the people of South Africa this time around, Did you look at yourselves and say, what did we do wrong?
Thank you, Vuyo. Precisely, Vuyo. We did look at ourselves. Our history as the Congress of the People is well documented. We have a history of fighting corruption even inside our own party. When we were infiltrated by corrupt elements as the Congress of the People, we said we will fight tooth and nail to ensure that corruption is rooted out even within our party. We were not going to remain with people who are corrupt, who have tendencies of the ruling party, who do not want to see a united South Africa, who want to even divide us within the party and create factions. We were not going to allow that as a party. What we rather said was, these people must go, COPE must cleanse itself, and COPE is currently cleansing itself. And now we are saying, that's why we're saying we need a fresh start. We realize that even ourselves as the Congress of the People need a fresh start. And now we are ready to deliver that fresh start to the rest of South Africa.
Okay.
And I think that's where we are as the party.
Stats SA's poverty trends report said that the Eastern Cape was the poorest province in the country. That more than a third of the people of this province depend on grants to sustain themselves. ANC, are you proud of that record?
Well, the 2011 census.
Can I just say, traditionally, as people of the Eastern Cape, we are not a hungry people. We have never been a hungry people traditionally because we used to work the land and feed ourselves. But because you have a government that did not have a vision post-1994, we are hungry now as a people.
What is your vision?
The vision for the country, for the Eastern Cape in particular, is a skills-based education system. For instance, if you do not know how to work the land, you will not be able to work the land. But if you are taught, given the skill, equipped with the skill, only then will you be able to work the land. So the Congress of the People is saying, give back people the skill, empower them. If you take Transkei, for instance, Ciskei, you look at what LL Sebe did. LL Sebe would empower the people of Ciskei by giving them tractors, by giving them seeds to plant, by ensuring that irrigation is there. But post-1994, all of those things are not there. Our fields are laying there dormant with no one working the fields because they don't have the equipment to do so. So now Congress of the People is saying, give the people the equipment to do this, give the people the skill to do this so that they can work for themselves and not need you as the ANC to feed them. Because we are hard-working people. We are a hard-working people that just needs the equipment to do the job. That's all we need.
So, Edmund, can you just come forward quickly? He has a question around land, which of course has been a topical issue, but you want to specifically ask COPE what their position is on land.
Yes, I actually wanted to ask the DA, but you redirected me to ask COPE. There's opinion out there that land expropriation without compensation will cause more hardships, will have a negative impact on the growth of the economy. So what is your stance as COPE? How do you feel about the land expropriation without compensation? Because we all feel it's a bad idea and it's not good for the country. I thank you.
But I think COPE agrees with you guys. Don't you guys have a similar policy on land?
I would like COPE to answer that question. Whether they agree, I hope they agree with us.
I think our position has always been clear. We said no to the amendment of Section 25 as the Congress of the People. We said no to expropriation of land without compensation as the Congress of the People. And these are the following reasons. Number one, land reform in this country is failing. The ANC might want to lie to us and say that they are doing it, but it's taking too long. Because if you have a problem now with people saying, we want land, we want this, we want that and the other, it's because the current government has failed to deliver. The second point is, the biggest question that we ask that's been currently asked by different races and different cultures in this country today is, whose land is it anyway? Does it belong to the black community of South Africa, or does it belong to the Khoi and the
Who do you
San?
think it belongs
It
to?
belongs to all who live in it, black, white,
Which means
colored,
what exactly? So
everyone.
what should happen though?
Everyone.
What should happen? How do we address the land issue? You've said everything about what you believe is wrong with the way things have been done up until now. So what needs to happen?
Acceleration of land reform.
How?
By ensuring that the processes are not too long. Currently, the processes take too long, where documentation of generations and generations is required. Some of us don't have that documentation.
Okay, if the processes are shortened, what will you do?
Once you get the processes to be in line with what the people need,
You then
then
do
what?
what
Give
with the
them the
land?
skill that they want. Because some of them return and sell back the land because they don't have the skill to work it. Now the Congress of the People is saying to you, be given the skill in order for you to work the land that you so desperately require. Also, what we would like to point out as the Congress of the People, that it's a fallacy that land will be taken from only white people. As a matter of fact, if you look at the policy of the EFF, it says they will expropriate land from everyone, black and white, which effectively means that no one will own the land. Only the state will own the land. A corrupt state cannot own my property because I want to sell something to
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
It says if you have a state that has capacity, what the EFF is saying that we want to expropriate all land without compensation
Black
under
and
the
white.
under the custodianship of the state.
You've watched all of this unfolding. You were also part of the DA-led coalition. What do you make of what has happened in this metro?
Well,
When the coalition
it's
is
directed at me.
No, it's
You've
at 10.
had
It's
your
at 10.
I thought
No, it's at 10, not yours. It's at 10.
Vuyo, can I just say, the current government in Nelson Mandela Bay keeps criminals in council. You have convicted criminals in our council, Nombiba Andile Lungisa, kept by the ANC, kept by the EFF, kept by the UDM. That's where we are in this city. But I'll tell you this, Vuyo, when we were in government with the other parties, we have managed as a city to get 200 million rands on top of the 200 million rands we got last year because of good spending. That's the legacy we are leaving behind as the Congress of the People in the Nelson Mandela Bay. But you know what? I actually expected from the ANC, they've got Ace Makashule, they can't self-correct. I expected from the EFF because they've got VBS scandals. I expected from the UDM because Unjangele specializes in Wakupukutumibuso. So I expect that. Now let me say, as the Congress of the People, I want to remind the people of Nelson Mandela Bay and the people of Eastern Cape that it's a fallacy that the EFF championed insourcing. Well, if they did, they must also take the responsibility. You know why? Because due to the insourcing process, we have security guards sitting at home not having jobs because of that process. Because now EFF is quiet all of a sudden. It's not going back to those people and say, we are going to give you jobs or we're going to find work for you. They have not been working since December. So let's not forget those points. The Congress of the People lives behind a good legacy, and one can only hope that the people of this province see Nelson Mandela Bay as an example of what could be if good governance is put back in the Eastern Cape and in our country. Thank you, Vuyo.
Thank you very much for watching. Do look forward to eNCA's fourth election debate.